we're finally back. I'm sorry about the long delay. Last week was pretty busy. My mother was out of town, and I had to help take care of her dogs, which, you know, that sounds like, oh, hey, that can't possibly take up too much of your time. One of my dogs has, like, serious anxiety issues, I think, and was just the most depressed I have ever seen a dog from Thursday until Saturday while she was out of town. And again, you might think, oh, that makes things easy. Unfortunately, when you're sitting there and your dog is not eating for massive stretches of time by their standards, like, I think that between the two dogs, they ate like 3/4 of a bowl of food across 4 days. It was very, very little that they ate. And yeah, so that's unsurprisingly a little bit concerning, and you gotta look after the dogs all the time. Yeah. So I did that. I took a little bit of time to work on some other projects, and I was gonna stream earlier today. Originally was the plan, because I realized, oh shit, I forgot to stream yesterday because I was tied up in something else. That something else being a friend dragging me in to play Dota, which, you know, that tells you what level of friends we are, that we're engaging in sort of this mutual self-harm pact a little bit, right? Playing Dota together. Oh my god, what a... It's fun, and then you play it, and it's just exhausting, and makes you really despise every other human being, and you realize the limitations of your ability to strategize on the fly, and your ability to just play the game, because goodness knows I screwed up at a lot of things in a couple of those games. And yeah, so eventful several days. But the reason why I didn't stream earlier today is that I fell asleep early enough last night that I missed the release of the newest story event in Grand Blue Fantasy, which is the mobile game that I play way too much of. And so I was like, you know what? I'm actually going to, especially once I started seeing how people responded to it, I'm like, I need to read this pretty closely. And it was a 2+ hour long chore to get through. And I don't mean that in a negative way, because it was extremely long. And there was a lot going on, and it was really, really good. And very upsetting at times, too, in a, again, non-derogatory way. Like, you know, when something terrible happens in a story, you're like, oh, that's awesome, but also really messed up. Anywho, we are back inside of Sin, and today we're going to try and beat this whale. And if we have time after that, I'll show off the route through the Omega Ruins. Oh yeah, I suppose I should mention, because I did do a fair bit of monster capturing while I was away from the computer, and then some. I unlocked, like, I think another 8 of the... I've unlocked all but 2 of the super bosses at the monster arena. And the reason why I don't have those last 2 yet is just because one of them requires beating every single one of the others, and the other, I haven't encountered enough of the one monster to capture it. So I'll go ahead and I'll throw the unlock rewards for those in the chat real quick. Again, in case anybody is using this as a guide for some reason, you can go in and you can look at that gigantic block of text, and you can see what all the items you get from those are. And anyone who's not can go, what the hell does any of that shit mean? And that's a good question, because quite frankly, even as somebody who's played it, I can't necessarily tell you that. Also, that meteor absolutely wiped out Yuna. Okay, so we're just going to run from those things if they ever show up again, because our max HP is kind of butts. Which means that when we get to the not quite final boss, because we'll have a real fight there, I may have to actually end up coming up against my limits a little bit, because ooh boy, oh, if you can summon Arc in this game, well, first of all, it would take quite a bit longer, because if I recall correctly from FF9, which it has been a hot minute since I've played 9. Arc has an extremely long summoning animation.
That won't go so easy.
Oh, I'm not interested in these stupid turtles whatsoever. They suck to fight, and they're not fun. Oh, by the way, since I did notice, yeah, I've got, you can see a massive pile of gold. I'm going to go into my equipment, and we're going to take a quick look at some of the stuff that I picked up. You can see that I picked up this 4-slot, completely blank variable steel. We bought this from Wants in Makalania. Did I show off where Wants was? I'm pretty sure I did. And we picked up Tetra gear for everybody's equipment, because I will be building everybody custom armor at some point. But for now, I'll get to that later, basically. However, I also picked up a morphing mog like this for Lulu. And the reason why is because I don't feel like I'm going to be competent enough to actually be able to necessarily get those particular celestial weapons maxed out. If I pull it off, I pull it off, but the odds are quite low. So I'm just going to build something pretty similar for both of them.
Live and let live.
And because of how their damage is calculated, it won't be as good. Because they basically pretend like the enemy has 0 defense and pierce its armor. I think they pierce armor.
I'll be right back.
But regardless, we're doing what we can. I'll read that message in just a second. I'm sorry, I was too busy. Long enough for nearly 2 verses. Nice. Classy. That is pretty good. I wasn't sure if I was confusing that with Eden for some reason, because I've told you guys about my Eden story, right? And when my brother was first playing FF8 via Bleem on our PC, that would have been fairly current for 1998-ish, I think. But was probably a little bit underpowered to be emulating the PS1. And he was in a time section of the game. I don't know if he cheated to have Eden. It could be. I don't remember. I haven't played 8 in a... But the clock was running at the proper speed, but everything on there was super slowed down, and he summoned Eden, and it basically demolished his entire timer. So, great Marlboros. I want to show off one of these dudes as being, this is why you equip the Sonic Steel, because this is the only room in the game where they are not guaranteed to ambush you. Also, if you're at all intelligent, you want to also have Yuna not be in your front line for those places, so that way you can just be like, oh, well, this is about to be a bad time. I should summon Anima to deal with this. So let me tell you that before I had opened this area, because I did capture a couple of them in the Omega Ruins, let me just tell you that that was a little bit torturous. I did get bad breath at least once and survive it somehow, which is wild because bad breath in this game is usually just a death sentence. A little bit of halitosis and you're laid out for the count. Does this thing have anything useful to steal? It's got a remedy. I mean, that's something. Eventually, we're just going to get rid of those, by the way. Because we'll be getting ourselves ribbon for our armor, which is the thing that exists in this version of the game. The ribbon ability did not exist in the OG FF10, but it does in this, and as you would expect, it gives you status immunity. And that is just great. I don't know what else to tell you. Oh yeah, status immunity. That's real handy. Like, I gotta tell you the basics of any sort of RPG, where status effects are more powerful when your enemies use them than when you do. Again, at least poison is good in this game. And quite a few others, actually. But, I mean, quite a few other status effects are useful, not... whatever. You know what I mean, probably. I don't have any level 4 keys, do I? Yeah, because I have to get those through bribery now. Or getting enough chests correct in the Omega Ruins, but I told you that I tried doing that for a while and it gave me a head.
Enough.
Ooh, that's nice. Yeah, you can really see that the Celestial weapons do not care about armor, because dealing 19k to one of those things, kind of a rarity otherwise. Okay, I think it does care about armor, but it doesn't care about defense. Now, one great thing that I found while grinding for captures is that these dudes are vulnerable to Demi. For some reason, only Adamantoise are not. I don't know why Adamantoise are not vulnerable to Demi, but like anything else that you'd want, or, well, yeah, okay, super bosses aren't vulnerable to it, but whatever. You're not gonna go over to a boss and be like, oh yeah, I can just cast the quarter your HP spell, right? Why would you expect that to work? Yeah.
Enough.
Oh, nice. There we go. And you can see that ramp up as Auron's HP goes down in a case like that. We went from about 7k to over 10k. And when I say about 7k, I mean leaning more toward, leaning at least partially towards 6k. We don't care about extract anymore. The extract moves are fake. Those are no longer a real concern of ours. Let's get haste on Yuna. That seems a little... Yeah, Riku, you can have delay attack. Well, Auron, where do I want to take Auron after this? I don't think I completed... Yeah, he didn't complete all of Wakka's grid, did he? Quick hit. Trust. Entrust would be good for him, but... Oh, it's over here. Okay. So I guess that's one thing I could do, is I can get him Entrust. Trying to figure out... Okay, I see. Excuse me. I see where we go. So, we'll use the return sphere. We've gotten a decent chunk of those just from grinding out captures in Omega Ruins. Oh, that's pretty wild. Boom Comics, I think, is a company that does a lot of, like, really out there stuff with a lot of Western properties. Which, you know, I'm all for that. Have fun, guys. By all means, do some wacky stuff, you know? Is there something here? This feels like there should be something here. Oh, nice! I probably shouldn't do that, because, like, other characters need XP, too. I can't just have Auron shoulder the entire burden of of being this party's useful character. However, I can choose not to fight Behemoth Kings. Alright, so this is the area where we start getting the pop-up walls, right?
Enough.
Whoa! Dude, calm down! Auron's eating his fucking Wheaties, I tell you what. Never mind, maybe I can just have him solo this entire rest of this game. Wow, they made that gross as hell. I'm looking to see if there's a hidden thing there, just because it looks like there would be. We're out of here. Okay, that time he's not gonna get the one shot. Alright, dude. Right after I was saying something, right? Nope. My inputs correctly. Do a quick double ultimate. Yeah. Although I guess real quick is a bit of a stretch with double casting Ultima, but hey, we only had to do one of them. That is a lot of just stuff happening in that. Wow. Ooh, save point. Alright. Let's hit this. Watch Auron's damage drop a little bit, unfortunately. We could just go to the end here, but I think that there's also some items that we can pick up if we loop around to the other end of things. We take in some of this aquatic ambiance kind of music. But also, I don't want to spend the whole, handle that some other. Because at this point, like, what gear are we possibly going to find that's going to blow our faces off, right? That's really weird looking. All I can say there, really. Hey, Iron Fury, how's it going? Hope you're having a pretty decent day. I'm going to pause this for a second. Yeah, we got some interesting things going on. So this part, we got the crazy whirling camera angle like this. I forget what we have to hit, but we have to hit a certain number of these in order to complete the area. Oh, gross! It didn't die. Stop him, he's supposed to die! I don't think I need to do 2 demis. I should be able to do a demi and a flare for max DPS. Yeah, our demi is doing less than 10k, so big whoop. Ooh, I could have just double flared into this. I didn't realize their magic dealing's that low. Because these things just fucking suck. These are such gross enemies. Blinded. Yes, he is. Okay. Yeah. So eye drops. Yeah, you go ahead and take some poison damage, Auron. Who cares? That actually helps you. Okay, so the number did not go up, so it's not the blue ice that we need to hit. Oh, it's the round stones, I think. Unfortunately, the camera is legitimately just spinning like this. Alright, here's a monster we don't see anywhere else in the game called the Landworm. I believe this thing has like 80,000 HP or something. It's just an overgrown sandworm. It's not really that big of an issue.
Enough.
Yeah, I mean, it certainly has less than 110k, is all I can say for sure. It's weaker than the Barbatos we were fighting in the earlier area, so, you know, big whoop, right? And plus, on top of that, it's not even armored. It takes regular damage. Absolute clown shoes enemy, really, all told. Although I guess they did kind of want to leave something at the top of the totem pole or something. I don't know, man. Alright. Now, we gotta pick up, like, what, 10 of these balls? I wish there was a way to speed the camera up. Because, okay, sure, the spinning, I mean, alright. You need a little bit of an ability to get a better appropriation of the entire field. But it's pretty slow. And of course, it can screw you. And of course, you can have things spawn underneath you, which is never anybody's idea of a good time. Please let me be able to flee this. Thank goodness. I don't want people to start dying from Behemoth Kings. Shit. I was right there. I guess I'm not mashing the button hard enough. Oh, damn it! Summons? We don't even need summons. Auron just punches things to death with almost his bare hands. God, if I... Oh, I got an item. Huh. If I could just, like, set his HP to 1 with something. Oh, hey, we got the Infinity Gauntlet. Oh, it's got sensor and 1 MP cost. That's a pretty nice, that's a set of things, we'll say that. I can appreciate that. I can get behind that. Unfortunately for the Infinity Gauntlets, Riku's God Hand is a significantly easier piece of gear to level up. You know, if we're in a fight like this, we should probably I should probably just throw out Tidus's Overdrive just for reasons of counting up more towards his thing. Then again, we have no save points past this point. We are at the point of no return. So Abyss Worms cannot be captured. Just as a matter of business, you know. That's why I'm not tore up about even attempting it, because you legitimately can't. Yeehaw! However, the experience that thing gave us is pretty good, so I'm happy about that. Hey, Yuna's getting some HP and some strength, which is great. Eventually, she'll be able to actually slap things with her staff, and she'll kind of hurt. You know, live up to the promise of what FF1 white mages with the big sledgehammers. I miss that. Nowadays, like, all the healers have staves, and they can't do anything except for heal people. Which means they're like a dead slot half of the time, and when they're not, they're there to eat silence and be disappointed. I mean, that's not entirely true. But I just want a more, like, combat-oriented healer. To be fair, FF14 has that going on, but that is an MMO. And you don't want your healer to go full DPS on it. Ooh, Attribute Sphere. Those are very rare. For reasons that are perhaps understandable, because that doesn't sound that good. We got a mage staff here. That's pretty cool. Oh, I am curious just because, yeah. Oh, we've been getting gear from all of those. Yeah. I haven't even really noticed. Because I forgot that the golden orbs actually all drop gear. Oh, you are pissing, game. You are telling the world's worst dad joke. 3 demonoliths. I dislike immensely. On the other hand, I think we can just do Demi and Ultima, and that'll grind them down quite heavily. I'm about to find out that double Ultima would have been the bigger DPS. And I'm just gonna be like, ah, shit. Yeah, it way would have. It would have cleared that fight instantly. Oh. You got me. You got me there. I can't beat that one. Boom. 5, 6. Yeah, actually, that felt good watching him land that many hits on one of them. Finally, Tidus, you are able to do that kind of damage to something. That was a pretty scary encounter, though. I did not like seeing that crop up. Finally, Tidus, you're able to do something. Yeah, exactly. Unfortunately, because getting his ultimate weapon is such a rat bastard, he's probably going to end up being just a bench warmer for a large part of any of the super hard fights that we have to do. unless I'm able to somehow pull off the chocobo races and get through the RNG gating there, or alternately, if I'm able to build him a weapon that still manages to pump out enough damage, which sounds like it's... I know, right? How often are you able to end up in a situation like that in one of these RPGs? Well, saying that... A white magic sphere, that's nice. You can orchestrate things in such a way that that'll happen. Usually it requires effort, but in this case it just required questionable game design. We got another one of these boys. Alright. Titus, just be a haste bot. That's something you're capable of doing without question. Cast haste and occasionally do some swings. Camera, yeah, give you that one. Oh, she's doing more damage than usual. Normally she does like less than 100 to anything, and this thing is armored, so. About 40 seconds in unit. Wow. Thanks, Camelot. Camelot's the name of the company, right? The company that made the Golden Sun series. Got tired of making all those Mario Golf games. Actually, I would assume that they probably like making those because they've made so many of them. Ah, hell. Alright, well, we know how to deal with this fight now. And it's mash guard until a unit gets a turn. Hell yeah! Double ult. Golden Sun is not a series that I really gave a ton of time to, but a lot of people really love it. I'm gonna have to give them more of a shot later at some point, but I'm sure I'll get to that eventually, or I'll just let it get stuck in the wayside of all the other games that I play. There's still, Bomb Rush Cyberpunk came out recently, and that's a game that I gotta remember to pick up. Plus, there's a chunk of other stuff that's out recently that I need to play at some point. Oh yeah, Armored Core. Armored Core 6 came out recently. I'm so upset I don't have... Armored Core 6 dropped and I didn't have cash for it at the time. And it's like, oh, bad timing for that. It looks really good. And most of all, I'm just really glad that people are having a lot of fun with Armored Core 6. Because the overall outpouring of feelings and everything for it, people have just been like, this kicks so much ass. And I'm just like, yes, these games really do kick so much ass. Thank you. I'm glad that it's not like, oh, well, it's just sort of an interstitial between Souls games. Considering that both are from soft properties. Because that would make me sad as hell. I loved Armored Core. My first one was Armored Core 2 on the PS2. Most of the PS2 ones absolutely whip, by the way. If you're like, oh, I need new games to play on the PS2, and you should in that case, you definitely check out Armored Core 2. Armored Core Silent Line. Starting with Armored Core 3 for that one would probably be a little bit higher up there. I haven't played the PS1 ones as much, but they're also quite good. Tend to move a little bit slower than the PS2 ones, if I recall correctly. Speaking of moving slower, yes, I did see that cutscene slow down. I assume at this point this really is sort of butting up against the Switch a little bit. That is absolutely a good idea to go take a look at that. 'Cause, yeah. I've already heard my feelings about it, so. Alright, here we are. It's final boss time, asterisk. Aw, no armor
You're
core?
late,
Dang.
Auron.
That's a shame.
I know. Hey. You got tall, but you're all bones.
Yeah, I mean, hard to
Leading
complain with
right,
free,
boy.
but still. Just darn, I'd
Really
love for those to
grown.
be, you know, a little bit more accessible.
Yeah, but you're still bigger.
Well, I am sin, you know.
That's not funny.
Shut up, Titus. It's hilarious. Okay, it's probably not funny to you, but, like, to those of us on the outside.
Well, then. I mean, you know.
I actually enjoy the
let's
overall
end
just
this.
awkwardness and, again, the personability of
Yeah.
everything going on here. Everyone is a character.
I know.
And I appreciate that a lot.
You know what you have to do.
Yeah. The writing in this game is really good.
I can't hear the hymn so well anymore.
Oh, do you need hearing aids? Are you going deaf?
Pretty soon I'm gonna be
My
sin
dad's-
completely.
My dad needs hearing aids.
I'm glad you're here now.
Going deaf
One
must
thing
suck.
though. When it starts, I won't be myself anymore. I won't be able to hold myself back. I'm sorry.
That's enough! Let's finish this, okay?
You're right.
Well,
Well then. Let's go.
like check with Father of the Year anyway. Yep. That's right, gang. It's Make Dad Proud time. Difficulty impossible. It's time for Titus to face things. It's time for Titus to make this his story. Unfortunately, it's going to be Auron carrying this entire battle on his incredibly powerful adamantium shoulders. Oh, this is neat. Yeah, I forgot that this battle is, like, set above, like, a Dreams Anarchan backscape. I almost said backscape. Okay, that's a word. Backscape. God. And you know what this final boss, Asterisk, needs? A little bit of new metal. Hey, it was 2001. It made sense.
I promise this will be quick.
No, it didn't.
Hit me with all you got, Dad.
Alright. So, let's go ahead and talk to Jack real quick. So, you'll notice that he didn't get a stat buff, because what actually happens is talking to Jekt clears the overdrive meter. And you might think, hey, you shouldn't waste that. Don't worry, we don't need it. Excuse my loudness, but like, this actually is kind of hype. Great value static X! Fuck. Oh my god, that's a good one. Oh, by the way, we killed his first form in 2 hits. Oh, I think I heard that, like, stock clanking noise in the thing there. You can see his J logo formed in rubble in the background on fire. It just looks like the mechs that have fire hands for some reason. Now, if you're not incredibly overpowered like I am, off to the side of the final Aeon, you've got these U pagoda things, which you would normally want to break, but you've got to be very careful about their HP, because if you do like massive overkills to them, they gain back the amount of damage they were overkilled by as more max HP, which can very quickly mean that destroying them becomes untenable. And they healed the Aeon, they charge its overdrive meter, I think. Oh, did we still get the meter clear? Just on a delayed timer? That's awesome. Oh, baby, that was great. Auron hitting the hard cap. And just, yep. Final boss, ladies and gentlemen. To be fair, this is one of the Final Fantasy games where they give you this gigantic amount of level that you can gain over what you need, like even beyond the extent of any other in the series. Like, okay, yeah, usually an RPG like this, it'll be like, oh yeah, you end like level 60, 70 or something like that. I'm throwing out an estimate here because it's been a while. But, you know, so you've still got enough wiggle room to become overpowered. In this game, you've got space to become overpowered. This game does not expect you to have max stats to fight this final boss.
You're gonna cry. You always cry. See?
And
crying.
The super bosses, however, they tend to really want you to have that kind of stats, as we'll get a better look at sometime soon-ish.
Save it for later.
Right. We've got a job to do, don't we?
Good. That's right. You are my son, after all.
You know, for the first time, I'm glad to have you as my father.
Sir Jekt, I should...
No! Yuna! There's no time!
You stay away!
Yuna, you know what to do. The Aeons!
We Aeons,
Call them!
call us!
Oh man, this part kind of low-key hurts a little bit too, because so here's the deal: is that little bug thing flying around is what remains of you, Yevon, and it hijacks Aeons to become the next Sin. So in order to actually stop Sin from happening again, we got to kill all the Aeons that exist, which Yuna has a full party of them.
Yes.
So It's time for us to kill our own summons. I mean, yeah. Yeah, I don't know. Tidus is...
Yuna!
Who wants to hear him speak, but it's the right kind of who wants to hear him speak, right? Okay, so... we gotta fight our Aeons. I haven't remembered to rename all of them. Oops. We're just gonna take this from the top. And again, I'm pretty sure that Auron can just run all of these over. You might think this part will be hard. No. They've got a, we have permanent auto life for the rest of this. So, again, we can just kind of absolutely face roll these things. They give you a final boss fight that is the complete opposite of hopelessness. The rest of the final boss rush is absolutely free. You just have to get through it. We also apparently have to actually hit these things, but, God, I bet they're going to be actually kind of irritating because Yuna is, like, so stacked stats-wise. Oh, never mind. It went down in one shot. On the other hand, 10k is a weak flare for this point. It's got good real stats. Excuse me. Yeah, I know. If we summon Arc, we'd just be here for like an hour. Just waiting for it to pop up. Talking about her stats, jeez. I would tell you to act normal, but I can't even do that, so... Considering where they went with... Considering how things ended up going in Black and White and Black and White 2 and also X and Y, I'm surprised that that wasn't what the ending of your first playthrough of X and Y was. Because that game... X and Y felt like sort of the pinnacle of leaning into the over-the-top darkness out of the entire Pokemon series. And I know that, like, Sun and Moon also got really, really bleak on a lot of levels. Mostly just because Lucamine is such a scumbag. But also, like, yeah, I don't know. Lysander was just this certain level of being, oh my god, you are such an edgelord kind of thing. I have a perverse form of respect for that, but also... Oh, Gen 7. Gen 7 was good. I don't understand why people would... Well, okay, I understand some parts of Gen 7 that one would dislike, but I don't know. I'd place Gen 7 like in my in the upper half of the franchise. We'll say Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon were good games, and I appreciated the challenge of fighting Perfectly Ultimate Great Necrozma or whatever it was called. I don't remember, but I wasn't really a fan of the story. But in terms of gameplay, it was still, you know, it was still pretty good. I think to me what I dislike about how Lucamine was handled in Ultra Sun, Ultra Moon is that it didn't really seem like there was any difference until that one point, you know? Like, okay, sure, reinterpret the character, but also actually do that. Hey! Auron scoring the hit for 60,000 damage. Absolutely silly. The anime version of Lucamine, if I recall correctly from that, I think was a better way of doing it. That, yeah, my problem isn't necessarily, hey, yeah, you know, they made her not be a scumbag, but I think they didn't do it well in those games. However, again, I need to emphasize, Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon had good gameplay. I mean, they were still Pokemon games, what do you expect? Yeah, Tita's really running down his MP here. Oh, you call that a dodge? That's like the most Fire Emblem for GBA ass dodge of like the kind where they just slide back slightly. It was actually really funny though as a consequence. And rip. Bahamut, we've got only 2 more of these to go. 3, pardon me. And one of them is I've got to use yeah, exactly right. Auron, take the sunglasses off, buddy. I'm pretty sure they're fucking with your eyesight in this psychedelic nightmare backdrop. Yeah, in terms of Ultra Sun, Ultra Moon also had the Team Rainbow Rocket arc, which, you know, I do think that Pokemon nostalgia baits a little too heavily, but also that was really cool, so I'm not going to complain about it too much. That's right, I'm specifically making an exception because I liked it. Listen, I think it's justifiable. I know, right? He's out here against the final boss rush. It's dark and he's wearing sunglasses. I mean, listen, if this guy is one gun away from being Shadow the Hedgehog, all right? Yojimbo's stat line already makes him a dodge tank, so there's no way in hell anybody is landing a hit on this dude. Hey, nice to see you again, Weeaboo Greg. Yeah, see, no prayer. No prayer for the dying. And that thing's entire career. Hey, welcome back. Didn't know you stepped away. Thought you just didn't have anything to say. Thought you hung up and listened. I'm kind of with you there. He became a real character in Ultra Sun Moon, which is something that he was sorely lacking in regular Sun Moon. And then they basically cloned him with Hop in Gen 8. And by cloned him, I mean cloned his regular Sun Moon incarnation. Are any of those statements like mean or anything? Like, okay, sure, I do want a couple of more lighthearted rivals once in a while. I mean, I kind of think that Silver is a little overbearing, but like the relentlessness of it is kind of, you know, in the opposite direction. Auron, don't even bother. Said don't even bother. And yeah, we can't even summon anymore. This is our last one. No, this is just what the Mega Sisters look like in this game, that they're insect themed. I'm trying to remember if any of that transferred over to their incarnation in 14, which I think is their only other one since. But yeah. Yeah, pretty much. That's about the long and short of it. Oh, yeah, I'm sure they do, because they should... Oh. Cindy's still alive. Wow. All right. I was not expecting that to be an issue. Although I guess it does kind of make sense that, you know, again, they have sort of varied stat lines. And Cindy has a very obvious shell being a ladybug. What'd you think I was going to say? Although you're not wrong if you thought that. I don't know about the rest of you, but I can deflect a missile with my barrel gut. I'm kidding. Don't actually try to. Don't actually come over here and try to hurt me. That would just be. Anywho. We are not quite done yet, though, because this thing persists.
Everyone, this is the last time we fight together. Okay?
Even he's sounding a little bit winded, but they cut all the gagging out.
What I'm trying to say is, after we beat
yeah, the
you,
Mega
Devin,
Sisters are in quite a few of the Final Fantasy games. Their first one was
What are you talking
Final
about?
Fantasy IV, I believe. But yes, most recently that I am aware of, they were in 14. as the bosses of the Tower of Zot dungeon. Not the one from FF4, although pretty much all of Endwalker is basically a huge love letter to FF4.
I know it's selfish, but this is my story.
All right, dog, let's... All right. Auron, can you just one-shot this fool? I'm pretty sure that Yevon has 80k HP and that's it. Yeah, he can! Imagine making a single cool dude who is so cool and so overpowered that he can one-shot the final boss of your game. He got squished like a cockroach. That's great. Well, gang, we're so not done with this game, but we have beaten it, so. It's where they are due. Auron was made with the he's the favorite in mind, everyone. My God, was he. Like, it's hard to overemphasize the fact that Auron really is the most powerful character in this game by a wide margin. And with the right setup, he has the biggest boost of his attack from his celestial weapon. He has the highest damage, the highest defense, the highest HP. He's got pretty good other stuff all over. He gets armor break, which is like well, he also gets mental break, which is pretty good too. But armor break is like your go-to. Oh, is something causing me problems? Well, this will make my life 10 times easier. The only thing that's probably more powerful in this game as a utility move is haste. Back in the original, Zombie Strike was part of his, or pardon me, it's called Zombie Attack rather, was a part of his grid, and that's also very useful as a status effect move. His strength growth is just through the fucking roof. To put it bluntly, he's Broly. Yeah, exactly. There you go. And I mean, the design is layers of, like, he's got sunglasses, he's got an eye scar, he's doing the Ronin thing with the coat, he's got a katana, he's got a jug full of sake, he fucking drinks, dude! I assume the only reason why he doesn't smoke is because nobody thought of it. He the cheese and Mackie did. Best character of the whole game. Yeah, no kidding. Honestly, Auron is just one of the most powerful characters in the entire series in terms of, like, party member. That he just is absurdly disgusting. I cannot think of anybody who comes close. I mean, I guess there are some arguments to be made for, like, characters in 14, but A, a lot of that is cutscene power, and B, it's a completely different system, so you'd have to do some very interesting lining stuff up. And C, of course, because of how 14's roles and everything are defined, your healers aren't pure healers, so, you know, if you just drop Urianger, who's your astrologian, he's your main healer for a lot of the story stuff. if you just dropped him into a party, he would have a
Don't stop.
wildly stacked moveset, but he'd basically just be an underpowered red mage. Really.
It's all right.
Assemble a party of emos with attitude to combat something that powerful. Yeah, good luck, Sephiroth. Can't be in the same room. Way too much edge. Well, rip to my choice for Smash 6, I guess. Wait.
It's been long enough. This is your world now.
Eyes cool. Yeah, exactly. This guy's been a zombie ghost for 10 years. I can't believe I forgot to mention that earlier in the cavalcade of ridiculously over awesome stuff. And in Kingdom Hearts 2, he stands up to Hades. He stands up to a literal god of the dead in Kingdom Hearts 2, and it's just like, hey, fuck you. I'm better than you in every way. And remember that Kingdom Hearts has the... Oh, my screen's going dark, sorry. I thought that was just like a saturation issue with the cutscene, but remember that Kingdom Hearts has that version of Cloud where they dialed up the edge factor in all of his visuals to make him more appealing to 14-year-olds. Because they were like, oh, hey, a pauldron with a couple of bolts sticking out of it and a shitty sweater aren't going to do it anymore. We've upped our game too much with FF10. It sounds like it could be real and yet also multiple parodies, Irene. Well, there goes the entire space whale body. All in one stroke. At the very least, I guess it's good that it like faded away into fireflies or something, because like otherwise that's just going to be a massive chunk of flesh falling in the ocean. You guys ever heard about, there was this one time there was a beached whale carcass that turned up on shore somewhere in like, I want to say it was Reno, but I don't think it couldn't have been Reno, right? It happened somewhere in the U.S. though, and there was just a whale carcass on the beach.
Yuna.
And they blew it up with dynamite. So just imagine that these dudes are like, oh hey, the Machina ban is over. Let's just pack as much gunpowder into this thing as possible as it washes up on the island of Besaid.
Goodbye.
Hey. We're gonna see you again.
That would be like Planet Buster levels of explosive, you know? Oh shit, yeah, I forgot about that. Egyptian mythology is full of, like, a lot of crazy shit. I know this because I did a lot of research for something a while ago. And by a while ago, I mean, my god, 7 years or so. Where I was in an RPG, and the characters were all cast as, like... that they weren't literally gods and other mythical beings, but they were basically taking on those roles. And my character was the god Thoth of Egyptian mythology, because she was a fucking nerd. So it was fun looking up a lot of that stuff, because unsurprisingly she was buds with someone who was, I think, Osiris. and they were just like, they, they were bonding over how weird the mythology was. And by weird, I mean full of stuff that you probably would not want to mention in polite company. Yeah, Tidus just fades away. And by that I mean he jumps off of an airship. You know what? I'll give that a couple of points because they did give him at least a little bit of action. He high fives his dad for some reason. Okay, never mind. Points withdrawn. And mostly I'm just going to say I'm so sad that we didn't get an Auron Braska Jekt game. I would have loved to have done that, or even just like make that the novel or the audio drama or anything like that. Well, you see, Tidus was in a Kingdom Hearts game. And by that I mean he was a kid in that one. And did he reappear in any of the later Kingdom Hearts games past KH1? And if he did he stay a kid? It has been, as you can tell, it's been kind of a while since I've touched any of the Kingdom Hearts games other than 1 and 3. And Kingdom Hearts 3, let me tell you, Kingdom Hearts 3 is not great. Switch, please. I attribute quite a bit of that not greatness to writer Kazushige Nojima, who, as far as I've been led to understand, Nojima, not to be confused with Kojima, who is a completely different dude who actually kind of rules, even if he can be kind of a hot mess sometimes in terms of quality.
Now we can make new homes for ourselves.
Nojima, as far as I'm led to understand, was responsible for a large part of the writing of Kingdom Hearts 3.
The journey will be hard.
And I would not be surprised that's why it sucked. Because Nojima has always struck me as being the kind of guy who looked over at what his contemporaries like Kitase and Nomura and stuff like that were doing. Kitase actually was involved with writing for Chrono Trigger. We mostly know that game for being a project by Kato because Kato kind of took over the series afterwards. In terms of writing, I know that we all know that the designs were Toriyama. But Hideki Kamiya is who you're thinking of. The guy who did Devil May Cry and Bayonetta and was just one of the big guys at Capcom. Anyway, Nojima kind of strikes me as like
never forget that.
He's like he was trying to steal a lot of that. Nojima, for reference, is most infamous as for being the guy who came up with having Aerith die in Final Fantasy VII. Asterisk, as from what I've been told, that was his idea. Is that's like his iconic scene. So again, you gotta remember that we're talking about a team that had a lot of other people who had worked on Chrono Trigger before. And, you know, what's the iconic scene in that out of all of them? I think that probably the one that, if you had people, like, narrow it down as, like, the scene that defined what made Chrono Trigger different, you'd probably get at least some portion of people who would be like, hey, yeah, it's because they had the main character die. Because, to that point, that was really, really weird. Chrono dying. Like, the closest thing you had in any other game that I can think of offhand at the time in terms of RPGs was Ney dying in Phantasy Star 2. I sound like a complete stereotype of myself bringing that up, but also, like, it was an instance of a main character dying. So, like, I would not be surprised if Nojima looked at that and he was just like, oh my god, this game is super good because Chrono Trigger is very widely loved, and it's a very good game. It's widely loved for a great reason. And it was just like, I want to do something like that. And that's why he brought in the thing with Aerith dying. And yeah, anyway, Nojima also wrote the quite infamous Final Fantasy 2.5 novel, which is quite infamous for a very wide variety of things, but mostly because it's fucking terrible. He also, I believe, wrote the audio drama Final Fantasy X Will, which was released around the time that the original version of this remaster collection came out on PS3. And that's also pretty terrible, just kind of a lesser-known terrible thing, honestly. Most terrible to me is that it kind of undoes everything that happens in the entire Final Fantasy X series, so, like... And then they didn't follow it up with a sequel, which, to be fair, I wouldn't want to either after that, but yeah. Regardless, there is a lot more potential in this universe that has yet to be put to use, and I'm very sad about that, because goodness knows I don't think it's ever going to happen. And goodness knows that sometimes I don't feel like it should, because I've seen how these writers are, but yeah. 10-2 is extremely not next. I'll say that. I don't want to think about that, and switch please. For 10-2, I would have to hook up different hardware. That's not the whole reason, but I actually don't have 10-2 properly on the Switch copy, because for some reason that was included only as a code card with copies of the Final Fantasy X 10-2 HD remaster. And I bought mine used, so unsurprisingly it didn't have a code for X2 in there. Which, to be fair, I don't think that's the world's greatest loss. 10-2 is... I am extremely ambivalent about 10-2. I have a lot of positive memories of playing it as a 14-year-old. I shouldn't even say the rest of that sentence. That's going to make it sound much worse than I have a lot of positive memories of playing it because it plays well. I do also have a lot of positive memories about it because I was a 14-year-old, what I thought was straight boy back then. As we should probably all be aware now, I'm a very bisexual, not necessarily, gender fluid individual, we'll say. GNC, non-conforming, non-binary, whatever you want to put it. We'll say that straight boy does not apply, basically. And not just because, oh, well, you're almost 30, you're over 30 years old, you're a man. No, that's not it. But 10-2 may happen eventually. It would probably be played on PS3, or I may even go so far as to break out my PS2 and play the original version of it, because the International Edition changes some things in a way that I believe causes some problems, but I could be wrong about that. As far as next game, I still have not completely decided. I've got a couple of options. What about Steam? Well, I own it on PS3 is the thing. I don't own it on Steam, although I have considered picking up the remaster pair on Steam at some point. I would love to explore mods for this game, even though there aren't really a ton of them, and most of them are just like, oh yeah, we have to alter memory data in a save file. Which makes me a little sad, because I'd love to do some pretty hardcore modding for this, of like, almost transform it into a different game on the same engine. And by that I mean like replace characters and, Fan fiction, wait. Otherwise, in terms of other game options, I've considered doing Shadow the Hedgehog. I've considered going to Battle Network 4. I've considered quite a few things, actually. I may actually finally get around to playing Kirby Superstar on stream, which is something that I wanted to do a couple years ago and I never actually got to. I might retry Metroid Dread now that I have a real controller. I mean, I'm sure that my feelings about Dread are going to be still kind of mixed. I may go to Ratchet Deadlocked. I'm still not sure yet. Anyhow, we are not completely done with the stream yet because while we beat the story and I didn't give an overall review because I'm a fool, which is what I usually do during the credits. I was too busy bitching about other crap. Yeah, this game is pretty good, as you've probably been able to tell. I think very highly of this game. It has good writing despite what you would expect out of it because of the circumstances. The gameplay is fun. It's easy to grok. I'm glad that more things are, like, usable in this game compared to a lot of others. Overall, this is just a top shelf RPG in general. Which I think the Final Fantasy series can be a little mixed, so it's nice to have that going on. Now, things are going to get a little bit funky here because we are going to go and try to do some stuff here. We want our capture weapons on, except for Tidus's Sonic Steel. We're going to go check out the Omega Ruins. I've been saying that we'll do that for a bit, and we're going to do it now.
Live and let live.
However, we are going to be running away from copious amounts of fights. I'm keeping my capture gear on mostly for a very small number of enemies. Like, not these dudes. However, we are going to fight the... We're going to fight the Defender Z's because there is some value to doing that, if I recall correctly. Alright, Yuna, can you not kill these with Ultima? I think they have good magic defense, so they'd be able to stand up to this. Especially with the Saga series, yeah. I remember the early days of the Game Boy where they were just like, okay, we've got these other unrelated RPGs. We're just gonna call them Saga games. And people are just gonna have to deal with that. Yeah, at this point we can do some Ultima double casts here. The enemies that we really want to fight are much more commonly found in the other floor of the Omega Ruins. So normally I would just turn on my no encounters sword and I'd just be like, okay, yeah, we're gonna go to town, but I haven't really shown off the enemies here too well. These dudes do drop, God, I just saw it too. They drop level 2 key spheres, which are nice. Also, yes, we're retreading some of our sphere grid here because, hey, we didn't keep progress due to our save thing. Also, with my current monitor setup, I can't see super well, so I gotta approach this by basically looking up at the mini-map, which, as you can tell, is not fully formed here. Okay, I was gonna say, if double cast jolts her ahead like that, that's absolutely silly. I made Yuna too broken, everybody. Again, always good to have this kind of bullshit coming out of your white mage. I'm a healer, but spams Ultima at you. Okay, we'll take this. Because even though we don't need more Zaras at this point, we do want to open these chests. They have a chance of spawning a Mimic. And normally that would sound like a bad thing, but they are worth hella money. They are worth dollar bills, y'all. And yes, I am overemphasizing my whiteness. Sake of humor. The Mimics have semi-randomized defensive stats. I believe they're worth... Oh my god, you are doing nothing to these things. Okay. Yes, this must just be like the tank one, huh? We want Riku to stay in because she's got Gillionaire on her weapon. And if she's out of the battle when the fight ends, she will not be providing the double money. But if she stays in, then we get double money for it. And we want a very large amount of cash across a lot of our future endeavors here. Because A, remember, we have to pay the guy who runs the arena to be able to fight any of the super bosses. And 2, we want it for bribes in order to be able to get certain items from enemies. And you can see we got a huge chunk of change there. So yeah, fighting these guys, absolutely well worth your time. We got probably the most obnoxious one in terms of being a tank, though. Don't worry, most of the rest of them are not that bad. Our main front line didn't gain any EXP. That's funny. Lulu didn't gain a level. That's less funny, but oh well. If I had just leveled Riku halfway decently, then I would have her in the main party the rest of the time just for capture assistance and Ash assistance, but as it stands, nah. I'll get around to level grinding everybody. Aw, boo! Game! Give me a turbo ether instead of a...
Farewell.
That's okay. Yeah, you need break damage limit to be able to overkill anything here, except for the Defender Z's, by the way. Everything else has an overkill threshold over 99.99. Oh, there we go. That's better. Mega Potion. Boo!
Farewell.
Boo earns. Boo earns. Okay, so these things, I don't think I have max capture on Makeas yet. Now, we have to deal with these the way that we would deal with trying to capture a Pokemon in a regular Pokemon game. Hell, I might play a Pokemon game next. I haven't played a Pokemon game in a while. Alright, so they're at a little bit more than 10k right now.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, we're not done with these yet, I guess. That might actually be enough to put that thing into capture range, which is funny in and of itself. Alright. Nice easy set of captures in the bag. As Tidus continues to gain no levels. Good old no levels Tidus. That's what they call him, I guess. Not quite. Surprised, actually. Sits here being conservative with my 500 plus MP. Listen, I need that for spamming a lot of... Ooh. Shut up, everybody. Mostly me. So. Time for something I haven't used this entire game yet, except off camera when I was capturing these. And that is Provoke. So you see that enemy in the middle, the thing that looks like a red version of the larva? That is called a spirit, and that thing is a rat bastard. It has a 1 in 3 chance of countering anything that hits it with Poison Mist. Poison Mist is basically a lesser version of Bad Breath, but with most of the things that really suck about Bad Breath. Most notably, Confusion and Poison. So, yes, you should treat this thing as something that can wipe you. Which is a bit of a problem when you're out here trying to capture because it has 10,000 HP on the nose. However, there is a trick. And that trick is you cast Provoke on it.
Hey, hey, hey!
Now, I'm going to press X a bunch, and we're going to watch some fucking magic happen. After I take a bunch of damage. And that's how you deal with them. If you provoke them, instead of doing their normal thing, they will just cast White Wind at you. And so, you can do your usual setup, and you can easy capture everything else on the field. And then, of course, once it's the last thing remaining, you can just easy cap it yourself, and yeah. Alright, Riku, come in. And help me get some cash.
Farewell.
Yeah, we are trying to capture everything to 10, if possible, because we do need to do that eventually. But for the time being, if we can capture as high as 5 for everything. And I believe at this point, there's only one thing that I actually need to capture any more of. And that monster is, as you might guess, hella rare on this floor. Like, disgustingly rare. The fact that I only have 2 to 3 of them captured at all should tell you that they're not common. Because I've been fairly diligent in capping these things off camera. Because again, how much grind do I want to force you all to watch? I say as I'm entertaining doing a Pokemon game. And it's soon. Right, these guys are of no consequence to us. We have 10 raids captured already, so meh. Oh, what did I do that for? That was silly. That's better. Ass using your ass. Sorry. Ah. At least I turned away from the mic. Alright, Dream Powder? Because I fucked up, so... Oh, the Zaris can't be put to sleep. But... Oh, no, it can. It's the Mimic that can't be put to sleep, huh? Yeah, the Mimics, by the way, have nothing to steal, so don't even bother with them. Also, yeah, of course, Riku has, like, no HP, so, yeah. Alright, slice and dice. I was gonna say, if we're facing one of the softer ones, that's probably a guaranteed kill. There is a version with almost 100k HP, so... That's more chests for the chest game.
Enough.
Ow, that's rude. Okay, yeah. Go for Auron. He can tank the damage. Hey. That's not where I want to go. Not way down in Kokomo. Wait, what? Fine. Just saying weird things because that's what I do. I'm a streamer. I'm supposed to. Something. Another one of these. If I could target the correct thing, would probably help me out a lot. Yeah, see, that's better now that I've done fucked it up. But again, that's why we have like all this stuff, other than the fact that eventually we want to teach our Aeons things. Yeah, that lizard can just stay asleep for a while. I mean, we know it's not going to be a concern. I see we got one of the fairly tanky stat lines here. Not doing a ton of damage to us, though, which is great. Hey, I was trying to get over the sphere. Alright. It's time for some more of this. Except this time, now that I've demoed Provoke, I'm not going to bother burning turns. Although I will do a little bit of that. Alright, Riku, get out of there. So I can come in, I can do Demi. We can bag ourselves another rock mole. Oh, we already have 10 of those. Okay. Well, that makes my life significantly easier. Do you have any good steals there, Spirit Man? Stamina Spring. I think we're maxed on those anyway. All right. I'm gonna walk over here. I'm going to save. And don't worry, we're not done stream yet. I'll be right back, though. Alright, gang, I'm back. On my side screen, I've got one of my friends who is playing through the new Grand Blue event, Unbound Asterism, and is doing a live reaction to their readings, and they are just having... He's just having the most, like, what the... He's having such strong reactions that I'm enjoying watching that go by as I'm out of my other eye, because, yeah. Kind of hilarious. Oh, that's kind of rad. Also, speaking of which, hey, there's the enemy I was looking for. Nice. This is Varuna. This is arguably kind of like the hardest thing that you could find here. It's also the rarest enemy in the area, as far as I can tell. I don't know if there's real numbers. Oh yeah, you don't have... Alright, so whenever it casts haste, we're going to dispel that as soon as possible. We do not want any of that shit around here. And we follow things up by having Auron do Hasteга. Riku, why don't you see if this thing is anything to steal? Farplane Wind. I'm pretty sure that's Doom. No, that's death on all enemies. Which is alright, I guess. We're going to do things this way. Flare and Demi. One flare shouldn't kill it because this thing is like 64,000 HP or something. But that should chip it down a good chunk. Yeah, see, so it's got like 27,000 left in the tank. Another 2 Demis will chip it a good chunk here. Okay, so it's got about 15,000 left. We'll throw a quick hit here. And we should be able to get the capture. Yeah! Nice. Good work, Riku. That may be useful later. And by that, I mean very probably. I've said it before, but Riku's Mix Overdrive is really good at, like, clutching out stupidly good effects. I just haven't been using it because, again, I don't know what the good ones are offhand. So I just usually end up just mashing through most fights. But it's great for dealing with a lot of things, especially if you're under-leveled. You can cheese some things quite heavily. I almost feel like I should go back and save just in case, like, power failure happens. It'll be fine. Switch has batteries. I'm gonna walk from this fight because there's no reason for us to capture Halmas anymore. We're over 5 spirits, and there's another encounter that has them. And there it is! Wow, okay. Alright, game, I appreciate you making me not look like an idiot for once. Alright. Provoke.
You want some of this?
Targeting the spirit first because that's the most important. The other two are called Black Element. They do not have counter effects. They do have some pretty nasty stuff. They cast a lot of status magic. However, if we provoke them, they just won't. They'll just be like, oh, well, you know what? Never mind. I take it all back, boys. I don't know why they sound like that, but they do.
Hey, you! Over here!
Because, yeah, they can cast Berserk, which, in an encounter like this, is a bit of an issue. Unless you've, like, provoked the entire enemy party, which is what we're gonna do. Because, you know, duh. kind of an idiot do you think I look like? All right. You can see they don't have a ton of HP, though. Again, our first Demi was 1900, so that's 7600 HP each they have. However, their defense is about as titanic as you should probably come to expect from this enemy model at this point. Oh, were they JoJo posing something fierce there? Not 100% surprised to hear that. Okay, not enough for a kill, so we're gonna see some hilariously low numbers out of this Demi cast. Now, you do have to keep the provoking unit in after you cast Provoke. Otherwise, it's broken immediately. And you don't want it to be broken immediately, do you? The answer is no! Of course you don't! I feel like they don't know anatomy at all. Well, that just sounds like a shocking amount of fan artists for a shocking amount of things, so
Farewell.
maybe that's rude, but okay. Do we have these at max cap yet? I would actually assume no, but just to be sure, take a whack at him. So yeah, if I know that I don't have any reason to cap some of these, I'm probably just gonna start running from them. We've got a bunch of shadow gems, and we tend to get those in large blocks anyway. Yeah, see? Block. Okay, yeah, so we're done capturing these dudes. We don't gotta fight them anymore. That's cool.
Enough.
I mean, we can still beat them up for cash and drops. Because I believe they have some good drops. Mostly in the form of, like... Can they have SOS Overdrive as an ability? I think they can. For their weapons, and that's just good money all around. Although when it comes to good money drops, we should be able to start farming one of the best equipments for high cash value selling pretty soon. And by that I mean we may be able to already. I just have to actually try that out. Oh yeah, here we go. Alright, yeah, give me your, like, 100k, dude. Yeah, it's over 100,000 gil, which is great. Because we do kind of want to be stored up to 2 million by the end of it. I should have remembered to sell all my junk equipment. I forgot about that. Oh god, I want nothing to do with these things right now.
Live and let live.
Get me out of here. Not feeling it, bro. I don't know if I have all 10 of those yet or not.
Live and let live.
But I'm getting pretty close. If not. Turbo ether. All right.
Farewell.
Take it. Mega potion? Meh. Alright.
Farewell.
Hey, she gained some experience. Neat.
Live and let live.
Oh man, this one is a physical tank. I may be able to ease things a little bit here by doing some flare spam. I'm just assuming that flare has the same level of damage as Ultima, by the way. It may not actually be the case. Chests. And we're leaving the Omega Ruins chests alone. I may yet still attempt to go and do that. Hey, another pile of cash. Oh, yeah. Oh, it's one of the big boys, too. That's fortunate. Well. Alright, Auron. We're going to have Auron just do Sentinel a bunch. Because, as you can tell, he's quite stout. And we would like for Riku to not get killed. So if we do this every, like, rotation or so, that'll be fine. Just to prevent her from getting targeted. And yeah, I mean, it costs nothing. So... I'm trying to remember if I've seen those or not. Because, of course, Funko Pops are the sort of thing that's like, you can just picture what they look like in your head, right? They have a a very definite style, we will say. It's not my bag, but on the other hand, it's not terrible. You know, and again, for some people, in some cases, that's all the merch that you can get for certain things. Funko does some like regular shaped figures too. I think Funko is also associated with, or is the company that makes those reaction figures, which are they're styled like figures from the 70s and stuff. And I think those are pretty cool. I've got one of those that's a xenomorph. Oddly enough, it was one from a blind box, so it's not the proper color. I want to see if I can track down the actual xenomorph one at some point. And I have one of the guy from Ghost. There were two of those, I think, of the Papa Emeritus ones. I'd love to pick those up. But, yeah, in terms of what Funko Pops are available, I'm a little less knowledgeable about that, except that there are quite a few of them. They always kind of look like they would feel like a shower curtain, though. Is that a weird way to express it? But, like, just the way that the plastic tends to look inside the package, like, it looks like it would have a certain texture to it.
Farewell.
That would be sort of like a non-texture in a way, and yet also still a texture. It's hard to describe. Okay, we've got these dudes. These are Puroboros. These are the strongest version of the bomb. And I believe we've got 10 of these captured already, so I feel no shame whatsoever in burning a slice and dice to thin their numbers a little bit, or at least soften them up for an easier kill. Yeah, see, we've already capped all 10 of them, so big whoop.
Enough.
But yeah, they make Funko Pops for like everything. Shouldn't just call them Funkos, because again, Funko is the name of the company. They have other product lines. It's just their most known those. Or one in particular. I don't know how to use words very well, which is weird because I like do script writing and videos and stuff. It's amazing how I can actually make those sound coherent, and yet I still have not learned how to talk on a stream. Stumble over my words constantly. He's... You know what, though? I will do this, and we'll have Yuna just bomb them out here. Listen, I gotta take a little bit of... Yeah. Also, I saw the phrase X variant there. My brain was like, well, X? But no, that's a Pokemon card. My brain was just malfunctioning. I have a feeling this... Well, we... did some good damage. This one is probably, yeah... This one's, like, well-rounded stats. Well, just mash A until this fight finishes, basically. Oh, Ogremon is the one that I'd see as like being pretty high up there, because that's a classic design from way back when, too. You know, like, if you were at all into Digimon as a kid, you recognize Ogremon. Now, I called this out earlier, and here it is. Here's the Great Marlboro ambushing us. Well, you know what? I feel like murdering this one. Give me some free EXP. Is that way you all can also catch that I renamed Anima to your mom, LOL. Because I'm very mature. Except not that. Oh, that felt good. Just watching it get blowed up like that. Yeah, like I said, you have a first striker in the team at all times. And Yuna should not be in the party unless she is the one with first strike. In which case, by all means. I mean, at that point, you just shit stomp any fight anyway, so... I'm going to equip no encounters now, because I'm just getting a little bit tired of this. We're not going to find another Varuna on this floor, so... I'll get... Oh shit, are we actually, like, right here? Never mind, we're going back to... equipping this thing. And we'll equip the... No, there's no reason for me to do that. I'm leaving the Beastmaster on because... This is the place. No, this isn't it. Okay. Well, I got jebaited into running into another turtle. Bye, turtle. But surely it's not too far along, right? I should pull up the thing with the
I'll be right back.
Yes, okay. There should be an all bed. Back here. Yeah, there it is. I see.
I'll be right back.
There we go. There's our last Albed primer. We want to go this way, pardon me. Oh, well, you know what? Let's take a little bit more cash, because this is free.
Enough.
Oh, yeah, I barely remember that, so... My Digimon memory is... There is some, but it's a bit mixed. Alright, good, a preemptive strike so we can fleet even faster. Here we go. Right, we get on this... I said we get on this elevator.
I won't go so easy on you next time.
at the end of this path... Oh shit, I forgot we didn't have 10 floating deaths captured yet. Well, alright then. Right, game, I get it. Oh, great crit there, Riku. Excite Bike 64, is that going to be on the Switch Online thing soon? I haven't kept up with that, so I don't really know what it's going to be there or not there. Anyway, this is what we were looking for, is we were looking for Ultima Weapon to drop in... Alright, so, Ultima Weapon. We can bribe this. This is the only boss in the game that we can bribe. And we are, in fact, going to bribe it. Because it has a very rare set of items for us. But first, we're going to make sure that this entire gang gets some EXP. Alright, now, I believe I've explained how bribery works, and... in order to bribe, you have to offer an enemy 20 times its maximum HP. And the game has to not be a complete dick about it. Oh, is it even higher than that? Yeah, it might be even higher than that. We may not be in such a good shape for the... Oh, no, we've got enough. Okay, because I just looked and read at the information over here. And apparently it takes 2.5 million to do this and not 2 million. So I guess the multiplier is actually 25 times. Yeah, let me crack open the calculator real quick. Because Ultima Weapon has a max HP of exactly 99,999. Now, we could put Auron to 1 HP and we could equip the Masamune and we could have him just slap this thing in the face and that would be it. But I want the items I can get out of this thing. Okay, yeah, it is 25 times max HP. So, feed it 2.5 million gil.
Leave us alone, okay?
We can get more money easily enough. And it just fucks off! I like the fact that it just sort of slides away. And we get a bunch of experience for that for some reason. And it dropped 83 pendulums. Okay, so I believe there's some randomization involved here with Bribe. Bribe is unbelievably janky of a thing because it also has a chance of just missing. Which I believe counts as it actually taking the money and you just have to keep trying again. But yeah, its bribe is listed as 99 of that item. These are quite rare. And they can be used to put pretty good abilities on your equipment, so, you know, why not pick them up, or at least to show it off, right?
That was not Omega.
You don't say. It was called
wrath.
Ultima Weapon.
What, so the main man's still around?
Come on out, Omega!
When we meet, I will send it.
Oop. Sorry, that was the game I've been playing with. I have a problem with playing with stuff in my hands. Oops. Alright, so we take the teleporter. And we arrive at the outer level of the ruins. Now, this area is pretty simple. But at each of these platforms, you're going to get into a fight with a pretty scary monster. They're kind of randomized, and we We got the weakest one here. That's very funny, game. I see what you're doing. And my goodness, it is hilarious. Anyway, you know how to deal with this by now, right? Oh, yeah, good old... Good old pendulum summoning. Again, the last time I played Master Duel, I did build Cleaforts like as fast as I could. Because, like, A, those hit a bunch of layers of appeal to me. And B, just I remember how badly broken Cleaforts were until Konami had to kneecap them severely, and they were still really high tier at the time. Of course, nowadays they're like fuck nothing, but still. I haven't seen the latest I haven't touched Master Duel, so I may have to take a look at that again and see where things are standing. If only out of curiosity, if nothing else. See what broken deck they forgot to sweep something. What's the flavor of the month that they're pushing? Because, yeah, admittedly, Konami has absolutely been in a couple of positions where they've just been like, yeah, we're absolutely using these banned and restricted lists in order to try and, we want to promote certain decks a little bit, which, to be fair, they do have to figure out a way to keep making money off of it, otherwise it's going to die. You know, but basically what I'm saying is that mechanically, you know, the collectible card game as we know it is a thing that only really exists because capital. Not to be that person, but it's true. Anyway, I forgot how we force resummons. Do we have to leave and come back? I mean, clearly we have to leave the platform. Because, yeah, you should be able to, like, force these into summoning more bosses and stuff. There we go. There's another summon. But this is the Gemini twins. Now, we have 10 of both Geminis because we need them in order... in order to get...
I won't go so easy on you next time.
in order to get Ironclad. So, yeah, that's not a concern of ours, but... yeah, we're gonna take one more crack and see if we can hard spawn the Varuna. Otherwise, that's gonna be a thing that we do offline. Oh, ew! Yeah, must be pissed, yeah. Little bit, eh? You know what? That said, I will take these because I should be able to just bomb these completely out of reality here. Yeah, see, we can just obliterate those things. And they are a pretty good source of the EXPs. Now, Great Marlboros can spawn down here. You'll notice that regular random encounters are off, by the way. That is completely normal. We haven't just been getting lucky. The only fights are on these platforms. At least for now. I think when we complete this, they do return, but I could be wrong about that. Regardless, let's take another whack at it. And then after that, I will show off a little bit of fun stuff at the arena. Ooh, Master Tonberry. I think we have exactly 9 Master Tonberries. So we've seen how Master Tonberry, well, we've seen how regular Tonberry behaves, rather. And so these dudes are exactly the same. Please don't die in one hit. Yeah, okay. I forget what kind of HP they have. Yeah, they got like, he's gonna have like 21k left, so die. Yeah, she's hanging on. She is going to die from this, but that's not a horrible loss. Like, okay, she misses out on the EXP from this fight, but I actually think this is one of the less EXP worth fights. Farewell. And more importantly, it lets us do that. Plus, we were able to test the waters on the other thing. So I can just I should be able to double flare and then capture them. So that's good to know for the future. Okay. Okay. Equip our no encounters, and let's go. Now for the long walk back. The least they could do is put a save point there, you know? Oh, that sounds a little bit chunky, but like I think that that's always going to be sort of the thing unless they just renamed Weichmon entirely. Unfortunately, no such thing. Back to the airship.
You're counting.
I don't know why I took the long way. See, I feel like just do whatever you feel like with something like that, because I know that Digimon lines can and do just branch and reconvene in some of the craziest ways. So go with whatever's funniest. All right, Arena Man, let's take a quick look. Let's take a look at our monster inventory here. We still need a couple of captures at Mihen to complete it, but we'll deal with that later. We need another 4 Garudas from Mushroom Rock. Those were a pain in the ass. Josei, another couple of a few things. 5 more Smurgs. These things are absolute rat bastards because they only appear on the brighter parts of the map. And that's really crusty, so yeah. Macalania, we're done. Thunder Plains, we're done. Okay, we have 5 Sandworms and 6 Cactuars from Eganel, so that's good. Calmlands is 100%. Stolen Faith Cavern, we just need 1 more Tonberry. Mount Gagaset, we need 2 more Dark Flan, ew. 2 more Grendel. That's okay. 5 more Male Spike, that's a pain. These things don't seem to show up. 4 Great Marlboro, 3 Barbatos, and we're done with Inside Sin. The Omega Dungeon. We need another 2 Black Elements, 2 more Varunas. Well, 2 more Black Elements for 10, 2 more Varunas for 5, and 7 more for 10. And 4 more Master Tonberries for 10. So really, this is the only thing that we're that concerned about. That is the only thing that stands between us and unlocking Ultima Buster down here, which... Unlocking Ultima Buster gives us 99 Dark Matter, which are used for gaining the break damage limit and ribbon abilities. So very important to farm those. I think ribbon requires 99 Dark Matter. So yes, getting that 99 for unlocking it so that way we can get ribbon on 1 character is pretty big. God, I'm gonna sneeze again. Give me a second here. Excuse me. Okay, so to round things out, I'm gonna see if I can show off beating 2 of these on camera. And we'll start off with One Eye. Oh, we're ambushed. Oh, fuck! I forgot to equip my gear. Well, nice. Just stealing my money, dude. Okay. Actually, I should sell off my, junk. Here. Oh, that's quite valuable. This... Yeah, look at how much money was just sitting in our inventory. Ready to be mined. If I had just remembered to actually do it. Exit. This time. There we go. Equip the Sonic Steel. Now let's try that again. Hopefully this time with less cheating on this guy's part. Oh, this time we get a preemptive strike. Okay. That's cute. Auron, you can't hit this thing, but try to... Oh, wow, he actually managed. Okay. Don't care about the item, too. And we'll Grand Summon Anima. Because that just makes this fight completely free. This probably is a little bit on the cheesy side, but you know, it is technically a win. A win is a win on camera, so... And that is a fucking W, folks. I mean, clearly, we should do this like a real way, but... Also, by the way, shoutouts to Auron going faster than Tidus with Tidus' first strike ability there when we got the preemptive. That was funny. I'll do it again, but this time I'm going to do it a little bit more legitimately. And also, we're going to take a shot at Vaidatu. And you're going to see why we don't really bother with it too much afterwards. But first... And yeah, don't worry. Eventually I will do these with a minimum of Anima cheese. But for the time being, we are going to take the easiest way out possible on a lot of these, just to make our lives a little bit simpler. Alright, now this should be enough damage to kill, because One Eye has only 150,000 max HPs. And yeah, see, it did less damage than a physical hit, and it still was enough for a kill. Hey, there's some dark matter drops for us. Now, I'm pretty sure we just got... Yeah, all we got was garbage armor, but I swear this thing drops good weapons. So that is going to be a major source of income for us, if it ever drops not trash. Oh, I should have shuffled my party properly, otherwise this is about to be some robbery. Auron, can you land a hit? He might be able to at this point. Nope. No good. Get some nice gems out of that, and... Summoning time. Yeah, that would be a... But we'd have to raise him up to that point eventually. We'll get there sooner rather than later. Aced up, and this is probably going to hurt because it's Ultima, and Ultima is gross no matter what. However, this is a good reason why One Eye is a perfect first target for this. Is because if you get your magic defense up, that's handy. Alright, come on. Land the kill. Oh, not enough. Oh, I was hoping it would do something stupid instead, but nope. Not so much. Balls. That's unfortunate. I probably would have gotten it if I had remembered to put a first striker in the party. But I didn't. Let's equip the Asamune. Edis. Land a hit. No, I think I would need Waka to be able to land a hit. Why would I want to use Waka, right? Alright. Vanishing Blade. Let's see if I remember the inputs here. I probably don't. Oh, that's not too bad. However, it's an overdrive, so it skips the accuracy check. It also does trash damage. Okay. Great. And not even remotely unfortunate. However, double casting Ultima, now that is generally pretty useful. Yeah, I mean, 60k in a turn. Remember, this thing has a max HP of 90,000, so that was a kill. Yeah, if we hadn't screwed that up completely, that would have been significantly easier. However, it drops MP spheres. Your max MP without using the break MP limit ability is only 999. I don't think we need MP spheres to any great extent. So much for that. That is 2 super bosses down, though, and you can see the kind of things. We will have to grind some of those fights, and we'll have to grind some that are significantly shittier than that, too, if we want our optimum stats. And goodness knows, when we get to penance, we are going to want that.